Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we will read from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, text number 26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktim uparatam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with a love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept. Perfect. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in a transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor, without any kind of a qualification. The only qualification required is this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or a fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. It's most important thing that Prabhupada is explaining about the Krishna consciousness is easy and universal. It's not a sectarian or not only limited with the one country or one particular place or for one particular community. This is universal. And this concept is actually very prevalent in today's world because people they don't want to be a sectarian, belong to one particular community, caste or creed. They wanted something to be universal. So here,
but someone saying our latest line, very latest revision, that's why it should be followed.
sorry?
Latest revision, like latest versions of Bible, same thing. Latest revision.
That is craziness. Nothing like that.
Yeah, they are saying
Next line, Prabhupada says. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by a simple method and thus attain the highest perfection of life, of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? If there is eternity, then where is the question of something new or old? If something in regards of eternity you think, then where is the old and new conception comes? It's eternal, no beginning, no end. So where is the old one or new one? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. We have discussed already on this verse. Like in Mahabharata, we see that when Lord went as a messenger to Hastinapur, Duryodhana offered him all opulence. He gave a wonderful treatment, offered him a nice food at one of the most expensive and exclusively decorated with the gems and other things, that palace. He offered Lord Krishna to stay there and have a food. And Lord never took that.
we do.
And where he went?
We do.
He went to the outskirts of Hastinapur in one of the Upavanas where Vidura was living, in a small thatched house. He left that because he told Arjuna, Duryodhana, that see, Person takes food at someone's house in two circumstances. One, he is really hungry and wants something to eat. And second thing, he is really in love with that person. So he goes, even though his belly is full, he goes and still honors something at that person because he loves him. As a token of love, he accepts that. But he said that, Duryodhana, neither you love me or nor I am hungry. So why should I eat at your place? So I'm not eating. Because being a non-devotee, he don't want to accept anything from him. So he left that place and went to his devotee's house, Vidura. And there he went and he said, Ma, I'm hungry. Get me something to eat. And he ate that. So Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. So here then, little bit thing is there that when we go and ask for the donation, whom we should ask?
Devotee.
How you can make it out they are devotee? Generally, the person who has some devotion attitude, he only will give you, not a non-devotee. Non-devotee will just make you run away from there. Once one of our god brother, he went for a book distribution, and in Bombay only. From temple, it's like 2 and 3 kilometers from temple. In one of the apartments, they went and knocked on the door. Then some person from the little bit, he just opened door and he chipped out, poked out his face outside. He said, yes. And he said, actually, we are here, we are having some books which are related with the spirit and material world and Lord. And he said, I know only one spirit. And then he took out the bottle and he said, this. I'm not interested in any other spirit. This one. And he just banged the door. Indian. On top of that, Guju. They were surprised. In India, and I'm telling you about it was in 97, 98, almost 20 years back. That was the condition. So now, who are interested? Very few people. Because fools, as Prabhupada says, that fools that he does not want to be Krishna conscious. Only a fool can be like that, not any. And starting of this Prabhupada says that for the intelligent person, it is essential to be Krishna conscious. So only an intelligent person can take Krishna conscious. Next he said, he is not in need for anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient. And that's why he is known as Atmara. He does not want any kind of offering from non-devotees. He accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of a love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other conditions, such as becoming a Brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principles of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. It's always a serious matter. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. It's very important thing. Sometimes we take it casually. Lord is here. We are doing it for Him. We don't understand the depth that what opportunity that we have got. Like some people, they think more fortunate if they meet some celebrity. just move around him, take a snaps with him. Huh? Or if they get a highest opportunity, like a go and dine with him, they think something out of world. But here, when you come to temple, you are standing in front of whom? The absolute whole. The absolute whole. Absolute whole means Akhila Brahmanda Nayaka, the person who owns this whole universe. So it's that. And we take it casually. It's a very serious matter that you are getting the opportunity to be in front of the person who is the topmost. Or someone who no one is like him and no one above him. You are getting that opportunity. Do we really think like that when we go to temple? When we get a opportunity to do that? Like they are making this flower garden. It's not a small job. Tomorrow, Lord is going to put them around his neck. And whole day he will be standing with that garland. So he is accepting that his service to everyone and he is showing others also. Look, one of my devotee has made such a wonderful garland that I am carrying it throughout the day. So how much blessed they are that they got such opportunity.
But you will be standing.
Sorry?
We see him standing, he goes to sleep now.
But still that garland is there. It's not removing. We have to remove it.
I told him, someone take the garland out. Take the mugat.
Not garland. We generally don't take garland. Only at night time we take garland. Before he sleeps at night. Afternoon we don't take. Only take out day. Here Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primary Lord and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what type of a sacrifice he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in a devotional service to the Supreme, in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. Krishna Anukule. What we have to do, which is favorable to serve him or according to his wish, not by my own concoction. Nowadays, everywhere in the world, you can see people, they are creating their own religion with their own concoction, by their own understanding. Oh, this way I wanted to serve. He has the ways through which we have to serve him, not our mental speculation or mental concoction. So that's what Prabhupada has given us stress there on this particular point. If one wishes to engage in a devotional service to the Supreme, in order to purify and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental living service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. It's not that the way I want, no. The Lord, what he desires from us. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants. And he avoids offering anything which is undesirable and unasked. Thus, meat, fish, eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such a things as offerings, he would have said so. As he has said here that Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. He has not said Andam, Masam, etc. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flowers, and a water be given to him. And he says, of these offerings, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for a human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such a food. The simple principle is that whom you love, you try to serve him according to that person's wish, which will please him, not disturb him. In the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in their life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In the other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. They are drowning themselves more and more into the existence of this material world by not offering to the Krishna. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture of or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues, which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that way. Yet, he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with a love for Krishna. And that shows the results actually. When you love, when you do something with a love, the expression is totally different. And when you do, as I said, that nokri karni, that's when you are taking it casually. You are not serious about that what you are doing. You are not doing it to please the Lord, but you are doing it for the sake of God. But here it is said the important element in preparation, in serving, and offering is to act with love for Krishna. That's what he accepts. He takes that love, not the what mess you have created. This is your intention behind that. The impersonalist philosopher who wished to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. As they said, he does not have a legs, he does not have a feet, he does not have a hands, he does not have a mouth, then where they will feed? So they can't understand this verse actually. They can't speak anything on this. To them, it is either a metaphor or a proof of a mundane character of a Krishna. They may think because this absolute truth has taken form in this material world, so because of his having this form, he may need this. That may be the understanding they may have. Krishna, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, has his senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. Angani yasya sakalendriya pratyamanti pashyanti panti kalayenti chiram devam. So he can see through his nose, he can eat through his eyes, he can speak through his ears, anything. They are interchangeable. And that's why people, because they can't comprehend him, this thing, they think this is all mythology. Because it is beyond their perception. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered fully in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon the material nature. Yasya kanishva sitakala mathabalam jivanti loma vilajajalam danata. Yasya kanishva sitakala. Yasya kanishva. When he does that nishvasa, then the whole material world comes into the being. And when he just glances at that, then all the living entities of consciousness enter into that matter and it becomes alive. And that happens only by glance. And so, in this instance, Krishna, hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuff, is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized. Because of his absolute position, his hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand the supreme absolute truth, can eat food and enjoy it. So the most essential element, that the love that we have for Krishna, then whatever you do with that love, Lord accepts it. So in the next verse, now Lord is going to explain that how one should do it. Yad karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. In the purport, Prabhupada says, thus it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget. Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should offer work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends do it for him. And this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, the people are very much inclined to do the meditational processes, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So here he says yat karoshi means whatever activity you perform. So everybody who stays in this material world, they have to perform some activity. Without that, they can't sleep. Yat kinchit kshanamapi not tishtati jatusha. The person can't live without perform any activity for a single moment. Huh? Third or fifth? One of this. Ashnasi. One can't live without eating. So if you want to eat, as Prabhupada said, any civilized person, what he does, he makes it an opposite of Krishna. Then Yaju Hosi. Everyone has, or every religion has some process through which they offer whatever they have to Lord. So that is like a Yaju Hosi. And yet tapasyasi, whatever sadhana or spiritual practices you do, he says everything you should offer it to me. And that's what gives you the ultimate result. And what is that? That is explained in the next verse. Shubha Shubha Phalarevam Mokshaye Karma Bandhanaihi. Mokshase Karma Bandhanaihi. Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upayishyasi. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So here is the Karma Yoga or Akarma has explained. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. Anasaktasya vishayan yathaharam upayunjate nirvanda Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagya uchyate. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first part, second chapter, text number 255. Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. Actually situated in the renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind. And as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated. And this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahman, Jyotir, but rather enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam Upayashyasi. He comes to me, back home, back to Godhead. There are 5 different stages of liberation. And here it is specified that the devotees who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, as evolved to the point where he can, after quitting this body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. So while explaining this Yukta Vairagya or the principle of renunciation, Prabhupada has quoted from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, where Rupa Goswami says that everyone has to perform the activities in this world. But when you perform that activity and give fruits of that, to Krishna, then it is called as a Yukta Vairagya. And this Yukta Vairagya awards that person a liberation. What kind of a liberation? That person goes back to Godhead. He enters into the abode of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. As there are 5 kinds of liberation: Sayujya, Sarupya, Sarshi, Salokya, and Samipya. So this person gets the Salokya. He attains that same planet where Lord is. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Definition of sannyasi. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Such a person always thinks of himself as an eternal servant, dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. As such, whatever he does it for the benefit of the world. Whatever actions he performs it as a service to the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive activities or prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. For an ordinary person, it is obligatory to execute the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. But although a pure devotee who is completely engaged in the service of the Lord may sometimes appear to go against the prescribed Vedic duties, actually it is not so. It is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities that even the most intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. And that's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 23rd chapter and 39th verse, it is explained, Taravakya Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bhujaya. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord, or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord, is to be considered completely liberated at present, and in the future is going back home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Krishna is above all criticism. So the person who is totally Krishna conscious, for him, the obligatory prescribed duties are not necessary to follow. That never makes any difference for him. Because all the rules and regulations, they are meant to engage us in Krishna's service. And if he is already engaged, then that does not require any formalities. And that person is above the social criticism, as Lord is above all that. Then, Lord is explaining about his own nature, how he is. How is he impartial to anyone? Sammoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyam. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So here Lord is showing the human-like nature. That whoever is friend with him, he is friend with him. As he said already in the fourth chapter, that he is ye yathamam prapadante. He is reciprocally responding. The way you want to establish relationship with him, he is ready to have that relationship. There is one nice story about that. In South India, in Udupi Kshetra, there was a very brilliant devotee of the Lord. He wrote so many wonderful songs about narrating in the local language, narrating the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. And his name is Kanakadas. In his Purvashram, he was a very heroic fighter. He was the commander-in-chief of one of the kings. And he was so powerful, wherever he used to go, he used to just conquer the land and he used to amass the wealth and bring it and he used to offer it to the. So one day what happened, Lord came to his dreams. And he told him, leave everything. Just come and take my shelter, become my dasa, become my servant. He said, see, I know what happens if someone becomes your dasa. They become beggar. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a beggar. Just live it. I'm happy the state in which I am and the position or situation I am. Just forget it. And don't disturb me. And he woke up. It's like early hours of the morning, like a Brahma Muhurta. And he thought for a while. He said, yeah, whatever I replied, that's really good. That's a practical reply. And I've done good. After a few days, some other king, they attacked on this kingdom. And he fought vigorously. And he got injured. Like almost he is dead. And he was lying on the battlefield. And everywhere there is a mud because of the blood scattered everywhere. Half-cut bodies are lying around him. And he was in the midst of the dead bodies. So the soldiers of other or enemy party, they just thought he is dead. So they left him on the battlefield like that. He was almost dead. And at the night, he was just water. He was just hankering to get a drop of water. Then he saw some small boy came along with the commander and gave him a water. So he drank it. And he felt good. And that small boy looked at him. Oh, you are really happy in this position, huh? Rather than becoming my servant, you think this is glorious for you? Huh? To lie down in this filth? Huh? This is glorious for you. Huh? Then he realized this is none other than the Lord himself who came yesterday at my church. He said, okay, I'm ready to become your dasa, but on one condition. He said, what? Whenever I call you, you have to come. I said, okay. Whenever you call me, I will come. Then he said, one more thing. I said, what's that now? He said, generally people, they can't just connect you directly. So who will be my guru? From whom I should get guidance? And he said, okay, you go to Vyasaraja Tirtha. He's one of my great devotee and wonderful sannyasi. And you take initiation from him. And he will tell you what to do needful to come to me. So when he got a little bit better from that situation, he went to Vyasaraja Tirtha. And he said, here I am, your disciple, and give me instruction. Then Vyasaraja Tirtha, he thought for a while, he meditated on, and he came to know that who is this person and how he has come here. So he said, okay, Kone. In Kannada, Kone means buffalo. So he went, he sat under the tree, and he started meditating on corn, corn, corn. And for a surprise, when he opened his eyes, he saw the huge buffalo standing in front of him. He was surprised. What do they call male buffalo or just buffalo? Buffalo. And what is bison?
And the,
That's wild buffalo.
so, little bit different.
Huh? So that buffalo was standing in front of him. Really huge, like a hill. Great hill. And he said, yes, you're calling me up. For what? Just looked at him. I said, I don't have any purpose. Then why you are calling me Kone, Kone, Kone? And my spiritual master told me this mantra, so I sat and chanted. So if you know, he said, I've come now, so you tell me, what can be done? What render should I serve? What service I should render for you? And he said, do one thing, go to my spiritual master and ask him, whatever he wants you do it. Because whatever he asked me to do, I have done, and you have come, so you go to him. I'm just a postman. I'm nothing much better than that. I said, okay. And that is, on one of the hilltop, Vyasaraj Tirtha was building one temple. And they have to carry big stones, black stone. And you know, in South India, you get black granite stones. They are really heavy.
Really?
So, and here is the buffalo, with such a, like a hill, big hill. So he was just started dragging all the stones up on the hill. Vyasaraj Tirtha got surprised. He said, how come he got that buffalo? Because that buffalo belongs to Yamaraj. That means this person is none other than the expansion of Yamaraj, who has come to render service to their lordship. So from next day, what he started doing, in Madhva Sampradaya, they have a custom that, as we do here also, because we also belong to Madhva Sampradaya. Whenever you offer anything to the Lord, the first prasad goes to spiritual master or the senior devotee, whoever is there. So he offered all the upacharas to his deities and shalagrams, and after that he used to give first prasadam to Kanakadas. So all of other his sannyas disciples who came from the Brahmin families, born in the Brahminian families, got all the sanskara done. Then they remained from the brahmacharis for years together, and they took sannyas. And in scripture and whatever their spiritual master has wrote down the philosophy, they are really thoroughly known to that. So they were thinking, we are so senior. This should be our first right to take the Mahaprasad. And why our spiritual master offering to this low caste person? Because when the Brahmin caste, he is a low, he was a caste. So that thing was going on in their mind. And being a spiritual master, he made it out, Vyasaraj Tirtha, that these people are having a problem. So they asked Kanakadasa, can you call the Lord tomorrow? We want to worship him. I said, okay, whatever you say, I will do. And next day, early in the morning, with the Shodasha Upacharas and all Divya Upacharas, Raja Upacharas, like the 64 items, they kept ready because the Lord is going to come. So since morning it stuck to till evening, nobody has come. And everyone started mocking on Kanakadasa. Then his Vyasaraj looked at him and said, what is this, Kanaka? You put me down. I asked you to call Lord. Lord never came. You never asked him. I said, I called him and he came. Then what happened? Actually, he came, but your sannyas disciples, they thrown stone on him. He ran away. Means he came in the form of a dog. I said, what? Yeah. So you called him in the form of a dog. So what? God is God. Whichever forms he may come, you have to accept him and honor him. So don't do that. Get Lord tomorrow. Again, next day, people started laughing at him. He called, any dog came and he said that he is a God. Okay, call him. The next day, he called the Lordship, and Lord came in the form of Ananta Shesha. As he entered the matha, the monastery, all the people, they saw the gigantic snake coming inside, all they ran away from there. And only Asaraj Tirtha was sitting there. And Kanakadas was there. He was glorifying the Lordship. Asaraj Tirtha was offering all the upacharas. And after offering everything, he offered it to the Kanakadas person. Why I am telling this? Because reciprocal relationship that Lord has with his devotees. The way you reciprocate with the Lord, same way Lord reciprocates with you. That's the thing that I wanted to tell you about. Here, the Kanakadas, the way he wanted to reciprocate with the Lord, same way Lord reciprocated. Now he got stoned by the people. Why he got stoned? There is a reason behind that also. Once Lord came to his dream and he said, okay, tomorrow I am getting married, you come and attend my marriage. He said, what? How come? Baba, this is Kali Yuga. In the age of Kali, where is Mother Sita or where is Mother Rukmini or where is Srimati Radharani? Whom you want to get married? He said, no, you come actually on the Tirupati hills, Tirumala hills, and there, and every day there is a Kalyanam. So I'm getting married with a Padmavati. So why don't you come and have a celebration there? He said, okay, I will come. And there in the Tirumala, Lord said that one of my great devotees is coming tomorrow to attend my Kalyanotsava. So please honor him properly. He is your chief guest. So here, the king got up early in the morning and he was ready with all the Raja Upacharas. Because Lord personally came and said that he has invited one of his devotees and he has come. So we should honor him like a god also because he is very dear to the Lord. So the whole day, king was just waiting on the gates that somebody is going to come. Okay, so nobody has come. So they went back. And here, Kanakadasa came. Nobody was able to recognize him because he was very in a simple dress, putting one woolen chadar on the shoulder and having his veena in his hand. And he was singing, looking like a beggar totally. So no one paid attention to him. So he came, all day nothing was there to eat. So he just sat there and he started chanting the names of the Lord. Then he got totally exhausted because he came all the way. Those days they don't have a flights or trains, super fast trains which he can reach there. It took months for him to reach there. So he came there and he was sleeping underneath the tree. I was not having anything actually to cover also. On the hills it was really cold. If you go all the 12 months, one in the winter, summers also, at the night it becomes really cold. It's on the really top on the hill. So at night, when Pujari offered milk to their lordship and locked the door and he went, the Lord took that pot of milk. He came outside. He woke up. Arey, Kanaka, I'm sorry actually, they were not able to recognize you. Please have this milk. And he said, okay. Nice hospitality you have for your friends. Huh? Good. Thank you. So he drank that milk. And it was so tasty and was hungry really. So he drank the whole thing. And as you get the sweet hot milk, then you feel sleepy. He slept there. As he slept there, Lord took out his chadar and put it on his body, covered him, and put that pot there, and Lord went back. So morning, Pujari went and he opened the door and he saw there is no pot. And that's a golden pot in which they were offering milk to the Lord. Then he said, now if it goes to king, then king will punish me. So he informed that this is what happened and I'm not able to see that pot. So all the soldiers, they started running here and there just to locate who has taken it. And they saw underneath the tree one person is sleeping with the silk chatar. They came and, you know soldiers, how arrogant they are generally. They came and they just kicked him. Like, he caught up and he said, what happened? They saw that golden pot next to him and he's a beggar and covered himself with the silk chadar. They started beating him. Then they took him in front of the Lord, not in front of the king. They saw him. The king realized, oh my God, he's that pure devotee. They said, we really beg forgiveness and whatever my soldiers they have done to you, I'm really regretting for that. He said, it was not your desire actually, it was his plan and it has happened. So don't worry, but I wanted to present for his Kalyanotsava. The next day they had a big Kalyanotsava. Then he sang, oh my Lord, what a glory you have, that how you punish your own sons. And one day I will take a revenge about this. And then this time he called Lord in the disguise as a dog. And they stoned him. And then he said, now he got it. So this is what the relation, the sweet relation, the melody, the mellow that he has with his own devotees. And that's why he says that he is reciprocally responding. One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in the transcendental service? Here is the answer. The whole story is for this. But this is not discrimination. It is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed. Yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity in whatever form is his son. And so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He just like a cloud which pours rain all over regardless of whether it falls on a rock or on land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness. And therefore, they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such a consciousness are living transcendentalists, situated in Him. The Lord says here distinctly, Mai te, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the word ye yathamam prapadyante tam sataiva prajami. Whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like a gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the supreme and the living entity. But the personalist philosophy, there is. That's why the personal philosophy, where we consider Lord as a person, is more glorified than the impersonal philosophy. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desired tree, and whatever one wants from this desired tree, the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to his devotees. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like a gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotees of his devotees. If reciprocation relation is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personal philosophy. The example is often given, the Lord is like a desired tree, and whatever one wants from the desired tree, he supplies. The Lord is here stated to be partial to devotees. This is the manifestation of Lord's special mercy to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. It's very essential statement. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. So here we stop, and tomorrow we'll discuss about what privilege that Lord gives to his devotees. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.